Hey guys, it's D.Bowie here, and this is things I learned with IG.Boboka's Monkey King at Kiev Majors. The first important thing to note about this game are Boboka's items. Usually if you're playing some kind of roaming Monkey King in your pubs, you're going to get an Orb of Venom, and if you're harassing the offlaner, you will get a Stout Shield or a PMS depending on how much money you have to spend. It's usually unlikely that you will get both because you're going to burden the other support, and most of the time they won't be willing to give tangles to mid, buy orbs and sentries, and etc. So have that in mind. The ward that IG places are very defensive. In this game, Darkseer decided to jungle, and if you pay attention to IG's wards, they cover pretty much every path that the supports will take to contest him. They have a Spectre, so most of the time both supports will be in her lane, especially considering none of the supports have heals. As a Monkey King in the early game, you always want to be in courier form since it gives you extra move speed. You don't show in the minimap, as well as you don't draw aggro from towers and creeps. Remember that. As the game progresses, nothing new. Monkey King as the 4 has more items and is the best hero to harass Legion. It's kinda hard though because Earthshaker blocked the creeps, but they got a good block with the range creep in front, so the lane will definitely push towards them. Phoenix makes the 1 minute stack, and now it's way easier to harass Legion. Pay attention to his clicking patterns. See how he only clicks on Legion when he's very close to her? If he went from behind the trees towards Legion, there's a decent chance he draw aggro, and you never want to do that. Right after almost killing Legion, we see that maybe those wards didn't really cover every path the Liquid supports could take. Earthshaker blocked the offlane, right? So he wasn't in Liquid safe lane, and he gets first blood because of the path he takes. He also wastes Boboka's TP. Regardless of that, see what Monkey King is doing. He's not denying creeps, he's not hidden wasting time, he zones LC out of the lane and already runs towards the bounty rune. There's always something to do as a support, and just standing still, trying to play reactively in the laning phase, seldom pays out. He kinda shows up in the mid lane since he saw Earthshaker around the area and was close to get the bounty rune. Tries to stack a camp and fails to do so, and keeps trying to help Ember because of Earthshaker's presence. He tries to steal the enemy bounty rune, but against Liquid's team he knows that he won't be able to get away with it since Legion commander is in the area, and there are way too many stuns and control in Liquid's team. Ember is forced out of the lane, and this is something I feel like a lot of roamers forget about. That is an empty lane. It doesn't mean you should try to less hit against the enemy mid, but at least try to get some experience for yourself. Maybe if the lane pushes towards you, you can grab 1 or 2 less hits. OP probably noticed that OD was playing very aggressively, and because of it he went jungling. Boboka gets the DEWARD, there was an observer ward there, that's why he went jungling, and since it's nighttime he can ward with less chance of being caught. As he goes for the wards, pay attention to his clicking patterns. He doesn't look or goes towards the stairs to ward. If someone was in that area, they would spot him. Instead, he uses those trees to hide his warding. So that's always something you should try to do. Try to ward from the fog as often as possible. Another thing I want to point out is how his early warding Liquid's jungle entrance spots CM going down the stairs. Why the hell would she took that path? If you look back, we can see her sneaking in, and one of the IG's players probably clicked on her and saw an observer ward. After that he even clicked on her, and that's another easy DEWARD. We can also see another very underrated strength of Monkey King. He can get flying vision without spending mana in a very short cooldown, so that always allows him to go for these low ground wards that cover more space, while also being able to DEWARD high ground. Another thing to mention that can be frowned upon if you're a higher level is that he didn't ward that spot before or after the warding. It's just an easy DEWARD for the enemy most of the time, since he will see you warding, and if you got map control in that area, it means that he can get a more aggressive warding spot later, especially since it's nighttime. As he was walking towards that cliff, they spot Earthshaker in the jungle, and Boboka decides to go back to his lane. We can witness another strength of Monkey King. Not only he can safely ward that area without Liquid noticing, he spots Earthshaker before warding. Even though he has a fair share of levels, considering it's 6 minutes into the game, he ends up jumping very aggressively on 3 heroes without proper follow-up and perishes. He was probably trying to save burning, but that was a 4-man rotation that kills IG's carry as well. As Boboka responds, he has no TP ready, but most of the time, walking back to the lane as a support is a better idea. Not only it allows you to surprise the enemy, it also allows them not to abuse your TP cooldown if they saw you TPing. Since it's nighttime, even if OD spotted Phoenix around, he felt like he could man-fight Amber, and this is important, since Boboka didn't start to move around randomly as a monkey, only to show off. Because of that, OD has no idea of his presence, and they get the kill. I also like that he didn't initiate with Boundless Strike, since another hero could show up later. OD was very greedy, since he had ult, so anyways, they get the kill. We end up seeing a very cool but unfortunate interaction with the Royal Primate. As you jump towards the trees, even if you get damaged or stunned, while jumping, you won't be stopped. Kinda like the old Timbersaw. If you're jumping with Primal Spring though, and a tree gets cut, even if it's your ally cutting the tree, you're going to get stunned. Thank you OP, just gank your lane and that's how you pay me. One thing to note in this other clip is that Primal Spring is audible to your enemies regardless of you being in Fog of War or not. And you probably noticed that he pretty much never tried to charge the slow too much, since it can give time for the enemies to avoid the AoE of the slow and they kill the Pursiam. Also, even if the enemy is stunned, sometimes you're just better off attacking the hero as fast as possible because you're gonna get some passive procs and then you can use Boundless Strike faster. There's something I want to mention here that while doesn't affect low level pubs, is something you should note as you try to move forward in skill level. A lot of Monkey Kings kinda abuse the fact that they can't be easily caught to just move around and show up to everyone that he is in a particular place. As he walks in the high ground there, pay attention how he wastes the creep wave to die, while also jumping towards his base to make sure that there's no vision of him around that area. He only got level 6 a few moments ago, and that was a great use of Ion Shell on him. That's also a great use of IG's Power Spike. They have Ag, Reincarnation, and they smoke while leaving Boboka alone. I love that he ults and tries to time the incoming TP with the Astral ending, but gets unlucky. With a great vacuum, they finally get a good trade in that game. I also like that he immediately goes towards the high ground to scout that area looking for Earthshaker trying to set up something. Some of Boboka's movements are very nice to see even though they are simple. After they take that tier 1 tower, he knows that he can snatch the top bounty room. All of Liquid's heroes were dead and there's no tier 1 top. Yeah, super high level stuff, right? Yet, it's not that simple to consistently and on the fly put all of these things at the same time, and more often than not, as you do something dumb like suiciding 2 ancients, you think, I would be better off stealing Liquid's bounty room. Anyways, I like how IG kept abusing Darkseer's Iron Shell to give Boboka more levels and farm. Please Darkseer players, spam that shit in your allies when they are under leveled and even to get kills, you know? Remember what I said about jumping to trees? As Boboka TP's bottom to help burning, we can see a cool interaction with it. Yeah, I like that he uses the trees to get closer to the fight to land Boundless Strike even though he has no intention of going in. As they disengage, look what happens between him and G8. This is actually the opposite, kinda the opposite of what happened with him and OP. When we talk about item progression, a lot of people feel like Basher is always the right choice, but we did see a lot of people going for a hood first on the Kiev Majors. Not only on Monkey King, but on unexpected heroes like Weaver for instance. The item is super cheap, can be purchased on the side shop, and a lot of times it gives better effective HP against some lineups. If you pay attention to Liquid's team, a solid part of their damage is magical. There's no 2k gold item that would give him that effective HP. There's Mac, but Monkey King doesn't have mana sustain for that item, especially playing against an OD. Basher is an amazing item in Monkey King, but if you can get bursted every fight, then your items are meaningless. So I really like the item decision. Most of the time you don't really upgrade the item to pipe, you just want that extra tankiness, which pretty much no other item can give you. If you think about it, you could choose Glimmer Cape, but Glimmer Cape is usually an item that allows you to disengage. And what you want with Monkey King is stand in your ult and actually take all that damage and kind of overpower your enemy eventually. So, I mean, with Glimmer Cape, the enemy can just sentry and kill you. That's why I really like the item. Well guys, this wraps up for today. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see the extended version of this video, please check the link in the description. Pugna is a platform where you can learn from people like Chessie, Fogg, Munib, and Waga and get better at the game. They have now great content on the new patch, and if you want to raise your MMR, it's a great time. Just figure out the patch faster than others and get those easy wins. If winning MMR is not enough for you, you should definitely check out our new partner, Loot Case. There you can win and find beautiful cosmetics and go from zero to hero. You actually get a bonus every deposit you make in their website, but if you register with my referral link, you're gonna get a bonus on your bonus, so that's like, whoa, so much money. So yeah, definitely check that out, and that's it. Bye.